Welcome back to another video, everybody. Today we are going to attempt to fix the leaks in the AC on the R32. So I've got a new condenser and we've got this little high pressure sensor that was also throwing a code, and I've heard it could be leaking from here. So we're taking a shot. This might not fix it, but hopefully it does. We're gonna start by taking off the bumper and go from there. All right, I think I've got everything undone. There was bolt down there, in the middle there, up there, and then one that goes up. The bolt here and here on this side, one in there, one more down there. Same thing on this side, and then there's also one bolt, kind of hard to see right there, that hole on each side. All right, you do have to pop that trim that kind of runs along the very bottom of the bumper in the back. Now, should come off. We'll pop out that plug for the side marker. Looks like it's clipped in by that white tab right there. All right, punch it through with the screwdriver. There we go. Bang. Oh, wait. We got washer fluid hookup. Okay, so that clip, I just pulled up on it with a pick, and it literally flung all the way out. So be careful with that. That just, oh. Okay, I guess we should have seen that one coming, right? I've got one of these little foam earplugs. We're gonna try and slip it in there, and then it should expand, hopefully clogging that. Fat puddle. Bumper's off. Here's a better look at the condenser. That thing is real mangled. Okay, so little thing I just found out. There's this like headlight support or whatever this bracket is. We don't even have that on this side. Now this headlight has always been a little floppy, as you can see, but looks like we have a broken bracket under there and possibly something broken up here as well. But yeah, we're missing that bracket. But side note, that was the side note. The real note, looks like it's going to be a lot more work to get. I think we got to take off both headlights, this whole radiator support, and the core support, the crash bar, in order to get to the condenser there. So I'm just going to start chugging away at this. My tripod broke, so I'll just fill you guys in as I go. Alrighty, it's been a little while since I checked back in, and a lot of stuff has happened. So, at first, I was thinking I had to take off this entire radiator support, which I was a little worried about because it's got a lot of plugs back there connecting both sides, and I didn't want to do that. Once I took off the crash support, there's a lot more room in here, but you can see, you can get, can I get that in there? You can get to one of the mounting screws back there for the condenser on both sides, but then the top one is hidden back there and there's not a hole here. But if you undo this screw, that's holding the whole, like the radiator as well. You can push this whole thing back. I already kind of did push it back, and I think I might be able to get something in there now once that has been pushed back like that. So we'll do it on this side as well. All right, just took out that bolt on this side, and now we can see this whole thing goes pretty far forwards. I'm sure we're probably hitting something back here, but I'm not too worried. And now, I think we can get to those screws. Check it out, guys. That bolt out, that bolt out, that bolt at the bottom. This is what I got going on here. You really gotta like push this in Got to make sure it's disconnected up there. That one, it's like semi-secured so the whole thing doesn't fall on me. And then you can turn it out. I'm gonna get this out and we'll see how we can pull this out. I know it's gonna be connected somewhere in there still. All right, the condenser is now pretty free in there. And we can see over here, it's connected right where that black meets the silver and over there as well. So there's a bolt coming into there, but from behind, and there's one over here behind. Gotta take both of those out. I don't know how this black part is going to come through here. Hopefully it does. All right, everyone, it's been a little while since I updated. Here's what happened. This line was somewhat simple to get out of the condenser lines. However, the second line, this one's here, the other one's behind it, would not come out no matter what. So what we did was we pulled it out of the compressor and we just left it on the condenser and pulled the condenser out. You want to make sure you undo this one and this one. That allows you to push the whole radiator back. And we kind of pulled the support forward, pushed the radiator back, slid the condenser out the side. And we did manage to get it off, but this thing is so mangled that I'm gonna try and get new lines for it. However, I do still have this plug, and this is that little thing right there with that plug in it. So I'm gonna try and change that while I figure out what to do about the AC line. All right, guys, so we got that high pressure valve in there. That was a piece of cake. Condenser is still out, and I'm gonna have to order a new pipe. However, in the process of all this little wing broke off, and it was clearly already glued on there somehow. So went and got some JB welds. We're gonna attempt to put this back into place as good as I can. But yeah, I'm gonna give that a go. All right, everyone. So while we wait for parts, I ordered a few more than I thought I was going to. I'm going to attempt to put some of the tabs back onto the headlights with the same JB plastic weld that we used for this thing, and this thing is pretty sturdy now, which is awesome. So we got this one. There's one, might be a little hard to see, but up in there, that screw holds it in. Previously, that wasn't even attached. And then over on this side, this one is also broken for that headlight. So I guess we could try this one first. There we go. How do they expect that to stay on? It's like the popsicle stick is thicker than the piece of plastic right there. If I can glue those two pieces together, get it a little secure right there. All right, check that out. I think that actually looks pretty good. I mean, it ain't pretty, but got some on the top, tried to put some in there, tried to put some on the edge there. Got a whole ton. Probably won't be able to see it on the inside. I'd say we're done with that headlight. All right, so here's our other headlight. This is the bottom tab. This is the one we just did on the other one. But this one is missing a lot more. There's like a gap right there. So I don't know what we're gonna do with that yet, but we can at least try the bottom one. So here's the bottom. You can already see that somebody attempted to do this. Looks like it'll go in there something like that. Very nice. All right, so there's the first one we did. I think it's pretty good. Pretty solid. Now, the other one, yeah, so there's basically a huge gap there. Don't know how to get that on. I went pretty crazy on this other one. So we got some on the front, and there's a ton on the back. You're not really gonna be able to see. There's a ton on the back as well. So that piece is solid. So I think this will mount a lot better without sagging. I think I showed you in the beginning of the video that it was sagging pretty good, so that'll be better. And I just went ahead and put the tab that was broken back in there. So tomorrow I got the new AC compressor, right? Because this whole job has been a bit of a pain. I've never done it before, but it was more than I thought. So I don't want to come back in here. So we got a new compressor that'll be going in hopefully tomorrow. That line is staying the same. That's the valve that we changed right there. We've got a new line coming that'll go into the condenser. Condenser is here, but just gonna wait for that line. So tomorrow, compressor. All right, people. It's the next day. Got a package from FCP Euro. This should be compressor and some O-rings maybe. Looks like the compressor, I looked it up, it's got oil in it, about 4.5 ounces. And I think that's pretty standard. So we're gonna rock with that. Most of this stuff is getting changed anyways, besides like this one pipe. There's probably not too much oil in there. We're gonna start by trying to crack loose this other AC line down here. All right, there's that bolt. There we go. Damn, that's a fat pipe right there. Good boy, Casper. Try not to get a ton of moisture in there and debris, but we will vacuum this out. All right, so that's what our belt looks like in there. Wanted to double check that because I ain't never done this before. All right, here goes. Attempting to get this far one out. That bolt is ridiculously long. There's the bottom one. Now, before we continue, I should probably attempt to get this plug out. That was easy. Crack this third bolt a bit, but yeah, it's pulling tension on. Just push that forward, should loosen the belt a bit. Just enough. Oh, there we go. All right, here's the new compressor. Everything looks the same. We're gonna leave these caps on there for now. That way nothing gets in there, and we're still waiting on some pipe. So that's gonna stay there, and let's try and get her in. All right, All 3 bolts are snug. Get the connector in before I forget that. Let's see if we can get the belt on and then we'll torque these down. I think I did it. So that's gonna conclude that for the compressor. Belt is on, bolts are tight, plug is in. We're leaving those little shields on there for now. So those little caps. We're gonna leave it at that. Compressor's on and good and dandy. Hopefully tomorrow some more parts come in. Maybe we can get the condenser in, cause I just want to button this thing up already. All right, people, it's the next day. We did receive the new AC line, but before we do that, some of the bolts that came out of the lines that attach to the condensers, the threads are a bit messed up. So we're gonna attempt to use this tap and die set, see if it does anything, hopefully, and then we'll continue on. It's not perfect still, but it did get some of this, like, it just looked like there was some metal in the threads. You can kind of see it there. But it doesn't look too bad. I think it'll be all right. I gotta find some oil out of this old compressor so that I can lube up the O-rings, and we're gonna swap out some O-rings and try and get the new condenser in. There's the new line right there. All right, I vacuumed this out a bit, and now we got the new condenser. We're gonna try and slide it in there. Yeah. Where are you going?
Yeah. By we, you mean me?
Yeah.
I'm just holding it here.
Try not to like touch it on anything because it's got the same fins as the radiator, no dent. Alright, we got the 4 holes in here. I'm gonna hook up these lines before we try and get the radiator bolts in, because this thing's got to be adjusted a bit more. So we gotta take out those 2 caps. This one goes on there. Oh, we gotta route the new one. Do that. Alright, we got all the lines in, lubricated all the O-rings, snugged it pretty good. Who knows the torque spec, but it's torqued. And the clip is on the compressor. The compressor's on there. Belt is on the compressor. That's plugged in. I think we're good to go. So we're gonna put these bolts to try and secure the radiator. Then we can kind of start putting everything together again. Alright, so yesterday we attempted to do a quick vacuum on this, but the gauges moved. That's because we didn't close these knobs up here. So we held a bit of a vacuum overnight with the pump off and it didn't move. So now we got the vacuum running for like 40 minutes or so. And we're gonna put the rest of this front together, get the crash bar on there. We got the second little bumper guide that was missing in the first place, but we don't have screws for that. So we gotta figure that out. And yeah, we're gonna start with the crash bar. Just goes how it goes, I think, yeah. Alright, so we're leaving everything off for a bit. We've got the can hooked up with one of the little adapter things. We haven't punctured it yet. But we're also gonna be just weighing it out. So throw that on there with the line. What's probably gonna weigh more with the line? Yeah, that's fine. So it's around 18.7. So we'll just like leave it. It's at 18.7, and we need like 18.5 grams to go in, or 18.5 ounces. We just switched it to ounces. So we're gonna open this, purge it, and turn the AC on as well. All right, we got the scale here. We're gonna open this up. Both of these should be closed still. We're gonna pop this, and then we're gonna purge the line. Okay, can is open. That must be it. I was expecting to see like a little burst of like vapor, but I guess not. So we're gonna start the car and open up just the low side and see if we can't get this to work. All right, people. I'm pretty sure we got about 18 ounces in there, a little more maybe. And the air is blowing real cold. Obviously you won't be able to feel it, but I can feel it. It's pretty cold. It's never been like that before. Before it would just blow like the same heat as the outdoors. So we've got this blocked off now. We can shut the car off and take it off. And we're gonna run to Ace Hardware to try and get some screws for that little bumper support that was here before, or wasn't there actually. So we'll be back. All right, it's the next day. Here's the plan. We got to clean up some of this mess because there's really not much left to do. We got to tighten the crash bar bolts, throw the headlights in, tighten those down, throw in those little support brackets, and then we got to put that little thing that goes like on the bottom of the radiator support there. Bless me. And then we got to put that foam piece on the front, and that's just about it. Now hopefully there's no leaks and the AC still works. I haven't tested it since yesterday, but it was working great yesterday. All right guys, check it out. So this is the one headlight where we put the glued the top piece back on, and it screwed in. These bolts are a little off now. These bolts were never in there to begin with, but I think it's okay. I mean, this lines up decent. It's pretty level there. We got this bracket in, or what do we got? Here's the other headlight bolt. Here's the other one. Those were good though on this headlight. We got the bumper support thing. We got the crash bar torqued. I transferred this little grate thing from the old condenser onto the new one. It's got these little clips that you pull out and push in. And then here's the other side. So this was the worst headlight. We glued it down here, and also the radiator support. This section under here, that's something we also glued, and that, it's like, it should be angled straight out, but that section is angled like that. So it was like pulling the headlight in. So I put a bunch of washers there, and I put some washers behind this support bracket thing. And I did find some screws from Ace Hardware that worked well enough, so that's in there. This headlight is pretty good. I mean, it screwed in well down there, screwed in good right there. But up here, yeah, we couldn't fix that one. It's got the gap in there. So it's still a little saggy. But I think it should be all right. So we're gonna try and get the bumper on now. I think we have done it. The last step is to plug in the headlights. That didn't really make a satisfying click, but I guess it's in. Although I guess all the tabs on both of these are broken, so it's not gonna make a click anyways. Hopefully that's in. Everything should be connected. Most of the stuff. Some disappointing news. The bumper support bracket, I'm pretty sure that there's, on the end of it, it clips into the bumper like right here. But yeah, I think something's up with either the bumper back there. I mean, clearly this took some damage right here, or that support bracket is wrong. But it was like that beforehand, so whatever, not the end of the world. Good news is the headlight looks a lot better on the top, much less saggy. Still moves a little, but not as bad. This one's pretty solid. They look very similar. Compared to before, you could probably like stick your whole hand in there. All right, I'm gonna back this out here and we are gonna see if our AC still works. Moment of truth. Turn on the AC. It's still cold, boys. It is still cold. Oh, that's so nice. And a relief. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. This was a pretty big project for me, so it took a few days, had to get parts and did something new. Never really worked on AC before, so that's cool, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.